Good evening, race fans, and welcome to BSTV. This is the TCR Challenge Cup, as always on a Wednesday evening. Season 13, round 17 and 18, and we are at the lovely Okayama Full Circuit, a place where everybody gets in iRacing at some point in their career, because you race here loads when you're a rookie. We have a 27, is that degree track? Yeah, 27. It's not the fact that I need glasses, I just need my screens to be a lot further away. I'm Pete Bingchillin, and I'm joined in the booth, as always on Wednesdays these days, thankfully, by Sir Alan of Toon. Good evening.
Good evening, Peter, my dear. Good evening, race fans, and welcome to the delicious Okayama.
Yeah, it is a delicious track. I do like this one. Sometimes when you're a rookie, you think, oh my god, Okayama again? But then when you've left it for a few seasons, it starts to grow on you again, and you realise just how technical and challenging this track actually is. It's certainly one that I don't dread it. Do you know what I mean? When it shows up on a calendar, I think it's pretty cool. We've got a slightly reduced grid to normal because a number of holidays have kicked in. So there's a few drivers missing, key drivers as well. So just running through the ones that are on holiday at the moment. Spencer McCarthy is sunning himself somewhere, and it looked very good. So I have to hate him because he's in a better location than me. Wobbly is also on vacation. We saw some very terrifying images of his legs and his feet that were posted in Discord. Really did put me off my dinner. Sam Blees, I'm not sure whether he is joining us. Probably not tonight. He's suffering at the hands of a cold by the sound of things. So he's feeling pretty rough. So we wish him the best and a quick recovery and back into the seat as soon as possible. But it does open up the field for some of the other races tonight, doesn't it, Alan?
Yes, indeed, and I'm sure that's the talk of the hot talk of the pit lane.
Yes, I think it has to be. So Big Mig is here, obviously. You can see him on the screen, so he's got the fastest time at the moment. But Gary Craig is keeping him honest. He's just 2/10 behind.
By Gary, early.
Yeah, definitely. Bob Sharp is Robert Sharp, however you say that, is right behind him on that timing tower there. I think his fastest time without incidents is 0.05 of a second slower than Gary, but he has done a faster one with incidents by the look of things. And then Lee Bowden is up there, and Stephen Lucky Wookie Walker, who was sandbagging in Discord before, saying he's not going to do well here. We all know that's a lie. He's going to rise to the top. And a few people that have joined the session late, so they're just getting into the swing of things. Should we have a look at the standings themselves, Alan? I think we should.
Yeah, that'd be good. Yes, I've been to bed since last week, that's for sure.
Yeah, me too. So Big Mig out in front, and no Spencer McCarthy. So we're on the right-hand column, folks. Total points for drop score now. So no Spencer McCarthy this week. Maybe not next week. I don't know how long he's away for. Sam Blees not here this week, so that gap may get bigger if Miguel can stretch that lead a bit further. Wobbly Kneecaps not here either, so 3 of the top 4 not present. And then we got Gary Craig, who's only 56 points behind Wobbly, so he's got the opportunity now to leapfrog possibly 2 people. I don't think he's got enough in it to get above Spencer this time, but who knows? This is what he did, didn't he, in previous seasons?
And this is lining up very nicely. Who would have thought that the 3 of the top 4 would be going on their holes?
I know, it's crazy.
It's good timing in terms of the championship.
Oh, definitely, yeah, absolutely.
But it's made for an exciting prospect this week, because it'd be great to see how far these people can rise up and take advantage of these. But of course, you've got Miguel sitting there with his 1001, which looks great, doesn't it? The first 4 figures.
yeah, definitely.
He's going to make hay tonight as well, I suspect.
I think so, yeah. Carl Hardy in 6th there, 609 points, already has a drop score. He's got a good opportunity here to haul some points in for Safeguard.
Yes, indeed.
And I had to adjust my eyeballs when I saw his I rating, because it's 3,150. When did that happen? Is that a new thing? I don't know, but I was stunned
It's,
by that.
yeah, I think it's one of those things that's built up so slowly you haven't noticed it over 2 or 3 years,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah, and then
You
fast.
know, there's very little in the way of, but you know, they do those odd. In practice, they do the odd official, don't they? I imagine
Oh
that's
yeah,
the extent of his racing. You
yeah,
know, his
probably.
performance.
Yeah, and then oh, we got Alex on the chat as normal, and whoever A Rocks is, hello to you. I don't know who you're cheering for, but welcome to the YouTube channel and chat. Alex is shouting for Racing Forces as ever, and brings me on to Fast Freddy van Eekhoven, who's in 7th at the minute. Then we've got Jamie, Jeffrey, Lucky Wookie Walker, and Jamie Wilson in 10th, and that rounds out your top 10. Team-wise, no surprises here. Impulse Racing, a good nearly 400 points in the lead. Miguel and Wobbly doing a great job there. But Geodesic Racing White, Stephen and Sam, bringing lots of points back in the last few races. Obviously not tonight with no Sam, but I expect good things of Stephen Walker, despite what he says. And then the other Hydra Racing, Geodesic Racing team in 3rd place. And then we've got BSTV, Safeguard and Hydra Race, all around about the same sort of points. And everybody's still in it, really, for 2nd. I think Impulse Racing are standout leaders at the top there. And then a coveted prize, but not the most coveted, is the driver of the meeting. Jamie Wilson has top spot at the moment, Alan, with 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great performance by Jamie.
Yeah, he's had some good ones this season. His position in the league doesn't demonstrate his actual capability. I think he's had some rough rides along the way, but his certain performances have meant that he's got that driver of the meeting award 3 times, or 3 votes at least. And then we got Lee Bowden, Miguel Freitas, and Fast Freddy, all in 2nd place on 2 points, and then a whole bunch of people on 1 point. They're there for you to peruse at your leisure, folks. And then the most coveted prize, Sir Alan's Safe Driver Award. Jamie Jeffrey heading the way there. He's done a lot of laps, but not many incidents. So 0.01169.
Still can't believe that when I see it. Honestly, I really
Brilliant,
still can't believe it. Yeah.
And not far behind is Fiona, keeping it clean, many more laps actually than Jamie Jeffrey. Another 330 odd laps more, with 50 incidents. So she could easily take that title from him.
Only so Jamie's only got 13 in the lead, and as you know, he's always in the action.
He is, yeah, in the thick of it. And then Gary Craig, we know he's absolutely sound as a driver, and clearly proving that he's done the maximum amount of laps, 3,549, not dropped a lap in the season so far, and only 60 incidents. The next person down that's not dropped a lap is Sam Blees, way down there, and he's got 79 incidents, and it makes a big difference, Alan.
Yes, it does, and it's probably fairly instructive.
Yes.
And probably reflects the way that the different drivers actually go about their task.
Yeah, I would think so, definitely. So, where are we? We are currently...
Miguel's just lowballed it again.
Yeah, he is a force to be reckoned with, isn't he? But look, Gary Craig, only, what's that, 0.12 of a second behind at the minute. That's nothing, really. I think there's going to be... If Gary and Stephen, because he's like right on Gary's heels there, 0.04 of a second behind. I think that if they can keep with him, I think there's some challenges that can be made on this track. There are overtaking opportunities around here. We'll have a look at the shape of the track because you can see the technicality of it. The first portion of the lap is kind of open and free-flowing, and you get towards the end of the lap and it all tightens up on you and becomes extraordinarily technical. How do you go around here, Alan?
Oh, well, I love this place. It's I had some success here when I was. I came here a lot to learn my craft with Steve Cooley. The first place I went out with anybody to actually do a few laps and try and learn how to drive was here. So I've got happy memories of the place. But it's a fantastic circuit, I think. You know, you're quite right. That first section, You have to pin it. You're going fast down off the main straight, and then you've got the tight and trickies. But I think it's fantastic. It's got just about everything for me to make an interesting. It's fun. It's a fun place to go and drive. It's even better to race.
Yep, absolutely. So let's go on board with somebody who's approaching the end of the lap. Jamie is probably the best candidate for that. So we are into the dying turns of the lap there. That was Mike Knight corner, and this is affectionately termed last corner. And then over the start-finish straight, full beans, into what is affectionately known as first corner. They don't like to mess about in Japan with names. Williams is turn 2, which is just around here. So turn 1 carries on forever. This one, it's not flat out in this car. It can be in certain cars, but not this one. And you get on the gas as soon as you can, like any other corner, and then through the Moss S's, which is this little section here, before you get into one of the most important turns on the course, which is Atwood. And you've got to be very, very clean onto that gas. It's so easy to drift out and lose traction and ruin your tyres going up that hill, and the hill continues all the way up down this back straight here into hairpin, which is this one. A downhill cambers with you, right hand corner. It feels like you've got all the grip in the world, and you rise over the crest into another corner which feels off camber, but the actual camber is with you. I don't remember what that corner's called. This one's Piper, I think. And you take the curb there, as Jamie did, get on the gas, bit of rumble strip, down this little straight into Redmond, and then this is one of the most technical corners ever. You feel like you're off the gas forever. Keep it in first or second gear, depending on the car you're driving, or fifth gear if you're in the Audi, and then up and round Hobbs, and then Mike Knight corner presents you. Pit lane entry, which is a feature for the second of tonight's races, is there on the right, almost off shot, and quite technical here, Alan. You don't get much room for error on the pit lane entry.
No, you shouldn't forget it because you're turning before the last 2 corners. So you've got to remember as you're coming to the end of the straight.
Yeah, and flashes
Otherwise,
from
easy missed.
Yeah, flashes from Jamie, so he obviously knew that we were on board with him there, and always a pleasure to race along with him.
Very nice man.
Yeah, very nice. Look at this, result boys, safeguard boys, in tandem here, getting drafts off one another, very nice.
That's looking very slick. I'm proud of them, you know.
Yeah.
Doing a fine job. The safeguard division. We have 4, I think, divisions now. We've got Spyro as well to go with safeguard and work guard and the actual result team.
Yeah. It's quite a developed organisation, isn't it? Lots of depth to it. Lots of depth to the talent in there as well. It's quite good.
Well, you know, we've got the whole gamut.
Yeah.
There was always room for me, which is, you know, it tells you something about them.
Yeah, as it should be. I've just looked at the schedule, and the next track after this one is Virginia, and that's probably one of my favourite tracks, so that's going to be epic. Yeah. I love that. It's the full circuit, so I won't get the pit stop wrong when I'm commentating. What's this Racing Forces? So, Alex Sevillano Ledo saying that Racing Forces are going to get a podium today. He's absolutely certain of it, apparently.
Oh, well. I think
so
probably a reasonable shout, don't you?
I think so, yeah, definitely. Have we got anybody? Nobody's watching on Twitch at the minute. Everybody's on YouTube. And a good spread of cars. It looks like Honda is a dominant car here at the minute in this session. So Miguel Freitas, Impulse Racing, at the minute provisionally on pole. Adam Wright is provisionally in second in the other of tonight's Hondas. There's only the 2 of them now, as JB gets a bit wild out of last corner. It does appear that the Velocity's very, very strong here as well. Is that is
I would expect that because it's fairly agile, isn't it?
Yeah, it is very nippy.
Does the corners nicely. Got the hairpin and that technical S's. They're all very demanding on your car as well as on your nerves.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm really looking forward to this. this circuit, there's places where you can overtake, but you've really got to pay attention and carry your pace around these essential bends just before the straights. You've really got to carry your pace.
Yeah, and then Rob Sharp tonight. Wow, up in fifth for Fiercely Forward. That's a lovely paint job. That black and yellow liveries really stand out, isn't it?
Yeah,
I like it.
reminds me of Wimpy. The old
Wimpy, yeah.
Wimpy construction.
Yeah.
I used to go on the Wimpy bus back in the crikey, it was a long while ago.
Wimpy bus.
Yeah, they used to run buses to take their workers to work. They used to get on the bus in Nottingham and get buses to Leicester every morning.
Wow, okay.
A load of us.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's what they used to do. So you see Wimpy buses going everywhere.
Right, okay.
Well, look at this. We've got absolute rash of 37s.
I
We're in
know.
that same situation again where there's a rash of people in that top group. I mean, you can hardly pack them in there. And then, I mean, everybody else is 38s. You know,
That's right.
It's not like there's anybody really being laggardly here. It's
So-
astonishing.
1 second covers. What is that? The top 10 places, top 11 places now after that. As JB's just slotted himself in, I think it was. No, it was Stefan. Sorry, Stefan slotted himself in the top 10. So we've got 2 races for you tonight, folks. Just in case you knew. Ant Woodward, good evening. Why aren't you racing? Are you on holiday as well? Everybody else seems to be. All right. Hello to Evie May. We need to say hello to Evie May, Alan.
Hello, Evie May.
Hello, Evie May. Yes. Why is Ant not racing? Why is Evie May not racing? I'm sure she'll get a rig eventually, and then do that heel toe thing and the blipping that Ant does in the V8s. He's probably practicing for that. Actually, I think I've just answered my own question there. Because the V8s are this Saturday. It's the endurance race. We are at Willow Springs. I think it's going to be a blast, that one. It's going to be a very, very hard fought for race for sure. I just think it's going to boil over, that one. It's going to be a great race.
New track to a lot of drivers, I suspect, and I think that's going to be a hard drive in those V8s.
That's going to be a tough one, isn't it? I've not even bought it yet. I've got to buy it before I broadcast it. I've seen it on the TV though, so it looks good and challenging. I certainly don't want to be doing 2 hours of it, but that's what we've got going on Saturday evening. So join us for that, folks. Before that and after this, it's Cleo's on Friday. Hopefully I'll be available to join Clyde in the booth, because Wobbly is sunning his mutated feet. We saw that they were mutated on a picture. It was less than pretty. Somewhere
Yes, and
in France.
we'll be robbed of you on the grid. That's very unfortunate, and you were missed last week, let me tell you.
Yeah, dentist last week, so I wasn't feeling up to racing anything, to be fair. So, yeah. I had to have root canal surgery, which is...
Don't even say those words, it makes me shudder.
yeah, it's not pretty, that's for sure.
Been there, done that.
So, yeah, anybody like Evie May, brush your teeth, otherwise you'll end up doing what I had to do last week. Right then, where are we? Big Mig is out in front at 137.224. That was his last lap round as well. He's not that far ahead of anybody really. Stephen,
No.
Lucky Wookie, I'm going to be rubbish here. Walker, 0.05 of a second behind Big Mig. Where is Stephen on track? There he is, with no toe as well. So those lucky underpants are giving him toe. It's really weird, isn't it? Oh, and there he is into pit road. You can see how twisty pit road is. It's narrow too. It's hard to get down to speed.
It's tricky. You have to go around this corner. It's a long entry, blind almost.
It is almost blind. You're right. Absolutely. When we're in the intermission, somebody will be practicing it, so we'll have to go and jump on board with one of them. Oh, and there we go. This is the end of qualifying. That crept up on me.
Oh, look at those lovely hills. This is fantastic place. What a place to come and race a car like this. These cars are fantastic, and they love it. They're going to love this circuit.
They are. So round 17, your grid is Miguel Freitas is your poleman. Stephen Walker will join him on the front row for Hydro Race Geodesic Racing White. Lee Bowden, Miguel's Impulse Racing, missed that. Third will be Lee Bowden for Safeguard. Adam Wright will go fourth for BSTV. His teammate will be in fifth on the other side of the track, Gary Craig. Robert Sharp goes off sixth for Fiercely Forward. Seventh will be Carl Hardy for Safeguard. Freddie Van Eekhoven goes off eighth for Racing Forces, Hydro Race Racing Forces. My apologies. Tony Walker off ninth. Stefan off 10th, BTS Esports. 11th, JB Dejoux, BSTV Esports Blue. Don't know what I was trying to spell out then. Demis Tigtular off 12th for Hydro Race Racing Forces. 13th, Jamie Wilson for Team Chimera. Charles Walsh off 14th. 15th, Alejandro Advani. And for Matthews Logistics with Vapors Mansfield, Fiona Siddons will go off 16th and last.
Good luck.
I am just going to mute very, very quickly if I can. Apologies, folks. Forgot to do this earlier. Oh, gone the wrong way. I was racing the other day, believe it or not. Shocking, isn't it?
Oh, crikey.
I came second.
I can well believe that. He showed in great form.
Yeah, it was in the Clio as well, in an official.
Oh,
Couldn't believe my luck. Right, here we go. Yeah.
Oh, crikey, here we go. Revs are up.
Yeah, revs are coming up now, and lights are coming on.
Green, green, green.
And we are green. Right. They kept him for a little bit there, but nobody jumped it, which is good. Ooh, we're swapping places at the very front already. Well, nearly did. Stephen Walker really trying to get under the skin of Miguel right from the very start, and he's doing it. He's doing a good job here.
This is risky with cold tyres. That's a tricky section of the track.
Oh,
It's
Robert
wide
Sharp.
open. You've got to keep your pace off. This is a brave move by Mr. Walker here.
It is, and they've navigated it carefully so far. Can Stephen Walker get any grip round there? Not very much is the answer,
Unlikely.
but he might get a run going down this back straight here. Everybody might get a run on everybody. This is a bigger straight than you think. Gary Craig lining up Lee Bowden.
Lee, fantastic third place on the grid.
Yeah, stunning that.
Superb.
Into hairpin for the first time.
That's certainly Lee's best qualification. I
And
think.
Gary's got it done. Gary on the inside there.
Well,
Nice move.
yeah, beautiful.
So, everybody after Mig. There's a bit of overtaking back here. Carl Hardy, is that? Yeah.
Is Carl going for it?
He'll have to apologise to Alex
Ready.
Savillano in a minute, because he's just overtaken a Racing Forces car of Freddie Van Eekhoven.
They were aggressive off the line. They both had a decent start, and they pulled out into the space to try and make an aggressive start. I'm not sure it's worked out for them the way the cars have panned out, but they were certainly looking for a good start.
Yeah, Fiona Siddons upper place, so now second off last. Nicely done.
In the thick of it already.
I know, yeah. Right, so Miguel has managed to eke himself quite a big gap already after just one lap.
Wow. Well, that's to see how these develops. That's alarmingly quick.
Isn't it just?
He's pulling the gap already on Stephen Walker.
Yeah. You can see it there.
Stephen was hot to trot. He was way quick off the line. And of course he was second, wasn't he, on the pole? So
He was.
we know he's got single lap pace.
I'm just watching
And he
this.
held on.
Yeah, so JB back a couple of positions from the start, but fighting his way back into this. He's on the inside here of Jamie Wilson almost. If he's late enough on the brakes, he might get this done.
Come on, JB, look at this. He did a really fine quality. He was
did.
right up there and driving very well.
Yeah, he's had to give up on that for now.
There's always going to be another try now. The laps unrolled really quickly. There's something mesmeric about this track. You just go round lap after lap, trying to beat your line on the previous lap because you've been here so often. You know it's engraved on your soul, and you're just trying to beat the last time you were here. Just
Yeah.
trying to make a better go of it, and endlessly challenging.
I don't know what Carl Hardy's been drinking, but it's making him quick. Maybe he's liquefied his pies. I'm not sure, but he's already caught up with Adam Wright, which is no easy feat.
That certainly is not. That's saying something, that is.
Wobbly's on the chat, but we're gonna do the job of completely ignoring all of his messages.
Oh, evening, sir.
Oh, Alan. Right, Tony Walker and Stefan getting it on. There's a bit of changing places back here. This is Jamie and JB
crikey.
again.
Well, you know, this is one of those corners. If you can be the last man braking.
Yeah.
But you know, he's right in the toe there. Of course, he's leapt on. He's not gonna go away.
Yeah, Robert Sharp is much delayed at the minute. He had a bit of a rough lap 1, and now he's having to recover all those positions. So he's on a bit of a recovery drive. I think we'll see him probably move forward by the end of the race. Now,
Well, he's got to get past Tony, hasn't he?
he has. And that's not easily done these days because Tony's got him pretty quick.
Today, isn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And he's in, you know, like you were saying before, this circuit's favouring the more agile. people,
Alex says that it's illegal to overtake a racing forces car.
Equally matched going at it. It's great to see, isn't it? Look at this.
Yeah. Big Nick out wide there at the last turn. So is he under a lot of pressure? We're not sure. Oh, Tony Walker's been off track apparently, but not by much maybe. Oh no, he's getting mobbed here. Right. So behind him, we're going 3 wide nearly into turn 1, or first corner rather. And Rob Sharp getting shouldered off here, dropping back through the field. I wonder if he's got damage or something.
Yeah, it's a bit surprising, isn't it? Because we know the kind of pace Rob's been showing.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised to see him slipping back through the field at all.
Yeah, me too. I mean, he's 7 places down from his start position. He's just gained one of them back there on JB.
Going to want to slow down or something crazy.
I don't know, but look at how quick JB caught up with him there. I think there's something wrong with Rob Sharp's car. Not because JB's catching him, but because he was just so slow off that corner. Unless he just got it wrong himself, but that's a bit unusual.
Yeah.
At the front, Alan, Miguel has got himself a little bit of a gap, but not much over Stephen and Gary. Now,
It's not stretched, has it, in the last lap and a half? But I thought there was a danger that he was going to actually pull away, and we're going to be looking at a few seconds. But he is pulling away still, but they're keeping it tight.
Yeah, they are keeping him very honest at the minute.
And Gary will be, well, you know, if this was the second race, he would be fuel safe, because look where he is.
Yeah,
in for the second race.
Definitely, no need to do that in this race.
He couldn't get any closer, could he? Goodness me.
Stephen Walker takes an entire 10th out of Miguel Freitas on that last lap, which is, well, by ordinary standards, that's might as well be an hour. Miguel's so fast.
This is great. It's Adam's right in the middle of this sandwich between Lee and Carl. It's running 4th and 6th.
Ooh, look at that.
In really fine company. You know, Adam's a fantastic driver. It's great to see them really doing so well here.
Yeah, I thought Gary Craig was going to try a move on Stephen Walker there. These two are almost better to be supporting and bump drafting one another to catch up to Mig, if their relative teams will allow them to do that. These 3 are inseparable at the minute in the safeguard sandwich.
So, yes, and of course, Freddie is trying to catch them all.
Right, it looks like Rob Sharp has sorted out whatever gremlins were affecting him. He's just passed 2 cars in 2 laps. So maybe he's found...
Oh, it looks like it's running perfectly, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. It wasn't for a while. It looked like it was ailing quite badly. But... Oh, hang on. Something's happened here. Where's Miguel's lead gone? So Stephen Walker and Gary Craig have both caught up with him. That was
yeah,
a bad lap.
He must have made an error somewhere, a small error.
If he did,
that gap.
it must have been negligible because there's nothing on the event tracker at all.
No, but it would only take the slightest wheel on. Only the slightest wheel off onto the grass. Whoa, this is tasty now.
It is. Miguel gets that line beautifully every lap. He takes a much wider line in that Civic, and it seems to, whilst it's a longer journey, if that makes sense, he gets a good run. So Gary Craig here pushing the other Veloster along. Is he? No, he's not having a bar of that. And Stephen Walker, a bit of a send, but it's a careful one.
Yeah, no, perfectly under control and not at all wild.
No, and
Mick saw that coming, of course.
Oh yeah, from a long way back. He made his intentions clear. Rob Sharp gets past Tony Walker there. So he's on his recovery drive now. These three not doing anything with one another at the moment. Whilst they are close.
Well, approaching the halfway point here. And, they're tight, those three. But they're not fighting, so it's not costing them the ground. They're not going to fall into the pushes of Freddie behind them, I don't think.
No.
Or Stefan. I think, they seem to have got a fair old gap there, but they're not making any ground on these chaps either.
No, they're not. And Miguel's got himself that lead he had previously now.
Yes.
Even with a tyre off into the gravel at last corner. He's so fast, isn't he?
Yeah, what you were saying about his line, it's just, he is going further, but because of his entry is wider, he's able to carry just that 1 mile an hour more of pace, I suspect.
Yeah, and the Velocitors are good under braking.
Well.
Yeah,
it's serving him very well.
He got a more conventional line through there this time, and it did look just as fast as the cars behind. So, we've got an interesting battle again between JB and Jamie. Look.
Well, this is great to see. This is great to see JB here in the battle with Jamie, because that's quality.
What just happened? Wow, we're gonna have to watch this again when it comes up on the event tracker, because I'm pretty sure Carl Hardy just vaulted himself forward a few places.
Well, he's nipped past Adam
and Lee, hasn't he? Or has Adam moved back past?
Oh yeah, no, he's got past Lee. Yeah, he was following Lee, wasn't he?
I think so.
Yeah, no, he was, because off the start, and he was 2 places up, and we were occupying 4 and 6.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's nipped past Lee as well. How could that have happened?
I know. Meanwhile,
2 places.
Gary had overtaken Stephen ever so. Oh, right, that's what happened. Adam got into the back of Lee. That's not even an incident, believe it or not, on SDK.
That didn't make an incident.
No, apparently not. That's normal according to SDK. Apex Racing Standards, that's what that is. So yeah, everybody off on their jolly way again. So yeah,
that Adrian's wicked though, isn't it? The
it is.
Yeah. It is so hard to judge, and you've only got to get it slightly wrong, and you're in trouble for a very long way. It's been my experience.
Yeah, and that was
get it wrong, and you know it.
Yeah, that was a majestic overtake there from Robert Sharp at turn 2. You don't see many there.
Well, he's clearly got his pace back, hasn't he?
Oh yeah.
Wherever it was.
He definitely had an ailment of some sort. What on earth? What a massive lead.
He's put the hammer down, hasn't he? Maybe.
Well, I think this may have played into it, and this was as we were watching the Carl Hardy thing. Is it Stephen doing something? Oh, Gary got his braking a bit wrong, so...
That's the same as happened behind them.
Yeah, almost identical.
Yeah.
And he lets Stephen go.
Very typical behaviour.
Stephen would have been screaming at him to keep going, to try and stay with Mig's toe, but not to be.
No, Miguel. He was in firm control anyway, to be honest.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I don't think he feels threatened. I think he's driving well within himself, and I don't think he's too concerned about really getting by him at the moment.
Right, yeah.
it's taking him longer to break away. They had to make mistakes for him to get away, didn't they? You know, so it wasn't all easy, and it'll be interesting to see what he can do in the second race from 12th place on the grid if he stays here.
Yeah, and I do think that Gary and Stephen need to get a move on here because Carl Hardy is bridging that gap very efficiently.
Well, you know, Carl often runs with Gary, doesn't he?
Yeah.
You often see them close on the track, so you know can run nearly at Gary's pace, and that's top 5 pace.
Yep, definitely.
This is a good job by Lee holding back Adam, because Adam's a brilliant driver.
Yeah.
I think this is fine performance by Lee here.
Well, Adam...
I bet they're having fun, eh?
Yeah, apart from when Adam tried to annihilate his car. But, you know, he did wait and let him go through. No, he waited to the left-hand side, rather. Tony Walker getting racy with Demis Dicciolaro now. Robert Sharp absolutely striding forward and catching up with Stefan rapidly. His last lap was an entire second nearly faster than Stefan. That's enormous.
You wouldn't think that. You'd think the Audi would be a bit clumsy around here, wouldn't you?
You think that what would be?
Audi would be clumsy around here.
Yeah. I don't know how the gear ratio sets for the Audi affects it around here. Obviously, Freddie doesn't think it affects him very much because he's
Well, he's
here in
caught up
7th. Yeah.
He's caught up with Stefan as well.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Robert's caught up with Stefan. He knows how to hustle an Audi, so if you want to know how well an Audi's going around the track,
Yeah.
he's the man to ask.
He is.
He's doing well running in 8th, but of course we've got 3 of the top drivers out of the mix this week. This is giving us an unusual kind of look at the top 5.
Yeah, I think so. I think the second race is going to be very interesting. So for anybody new to this series, first race is a 20-minute race, sprint race, 35% fuel, so they don't need to stop. In fact, they shouldn't need to. Then they get a little interval of 5 minutes, and then we're into a 40-minute race, which is basically a 40-minute sprint we've seen, where you do need a pit stop. Now, I say that very, very tentatively now, because we had a bit of a brawl at Road America, brought out a full course caution, and Sam Blease, in a solar-powered car, managed to do it with no stops, Alan, which was an impressive feat.
It was magical, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah. I've still got my hat off to the man, to be honest. Every time I think about it, it was just inspired.
Yep.
Let's hope but you know, we don't. I've only seen you pull the trigger on the yellow flag twice, Pete. It's not something we do very often.
No, I
I've
mean,
been doing this quite a while now, and it's not something everyone wants to see happen. But you know, you just got to. And the thing about it is, there's always going to be questions about a decision like that because it's got to be absolutely on that instant.
yeah.
You haven't got time to think about it.
It has to be a blocked track. That's the rules in the real world or otherwise. So a blocked track gets you a full course caution. Ooh, hang on. All right, Gary Craig said, "I've had enough of this. I'm through on Stephen Walker." And all that might do is bring Carl Hardy quicker into this little battle, unless they organise that between the two of them. I doubt it. So Gary Craig off to the races, and after Miguel.
That's fantastic move by Gary to get past Stephen.
Yeah.
And is that going to make Cole fancy his chances?
Maybe. Ooh, Rob Sharp and Stefan get very, very intimate towards the end of the lap here. There's probably a couple of laps to go. May even be on white flag lap now. Let's see if we can jump on board with Rob Sharp quickly and see if Barney is waving anything. He'll be up in that little stand up there, so no white flag yet, I don't think, no. So 2 laps, I reckon, 2 laps to go. Gary Tommy
Guys,
stretching his legs here.
they're always hitting blooming apexes.
I know. Stephen Walker holds the fastest lap of the race, I think. Let's have a quick look at that. Yeah, Stephen Walker, fastest lap of the race.
Wow, 5,000th of a second.
Yep. There's not much in anything at the moment, and there's 5 battles on track which might turn into something. This is number 1. And number 2, because Carl Hardy's just suddenly crept up to the back of it.
Yeah, well, this is fascinating because, you know, what's Stephen thinking? Is he thinking, oh, I've got to look out my back window because Carl's coming? Or is he thinking, oh, I'm hungry, I'm going to get it back off Gary at the front of me? Wow, he won't know which way to turn.
No, he won't. And this one's coming up to a boil now. This is Stefan and Rob Sharp. Rob, absolutely controlled dive. That was gorgeous, that. Very nicely done. There was no defence possible there, not without many cars crashing. And everybody's battling everybody right now. They do this to me. They do this to me on purpose, I think.
Well, it's been a different look to the race. We're missing the drivers that aren't here, but I tell you, it's a different look. And look, there's no lack of fight, is there? It's just moved the fight around.
Yeah, definitely.
Moved the fight up a little slightly.
I'm trying to see if
is that Miguel Pinch the fastest lap back up?
Oh yeah, well spotted. Yep. And by quite a way as well. I expect this is, this has to be the last lap. We are over time. So let's see who's going to do what.
Miguel pinched it at the end there.
Oh,
big way to get that through, don't they?
Yeah.
Well, great racing.
Definitely. At the moment, Rob Sharp is in the reverse grid position, I think. Or do we do 12? I can't remember what we do. No, we'll find out in a minute. I've totally forgotten. It's either 8, 10 or 12. Is it 12? Right, okay.
I wouldn't bet much on it.
Yeah. We usually get bigger grids than this, but it's holiday season, so... Stephen Walker and Carl Hardy getting very, very intimate here. And Miguel Freitas sailing to another victory.
Made it look easy in the end.
In the end, yeah, he had to fight for it though.
He did. It was tense stuff earlier on. Look at Carl. If there's a happy man, he's a very happy man.
Definitely.
And well done to Lee as well. They came in 4th and 5th. How amazing is that? Yeah, brilliant.
Oh, Marco Nemela isn't dead after all. Good evening, Marco Nemela. Good to see you about. Wonder if he's going to come and join us for V8.
Oh, that'd be nice.
It would.
I haven't seen Marco on the circuit for a while.
No, I know. We need somebody who does the unbelievable undercut, don't we? Right then, and I think this is Fiona over the line. There we go.
Well done, Pete.
Lead lap again. Hauling the points in. Nicely done. Right, so let's have a look at the results there from Heat 1. There we go. So Miguel Freitas was your race winner for Impulse Racing for round 17. Gary Craig got himself a nice, tidy second step on the podium for BSTV. Stephen Walker came home third for Hydro Race Geodesic Racing White. And then, where am I? Then Carl Hardy and Lee Bowden, respectively, 4th and 5th for Safeguard by result. Adam Wright in 6th for BSTV. Then Freddie Van Eekhoven for Hydro Race Racing Forces. Robert Sharp for Fiercely Forward came home 8th. Stefan Goebel 9th for VTS Esports. Demis Tigchalar was 10th for Hydro Race Racing Forces. 11th was Tony Walker. 12th was Jamie Wilson for Team Chimera. JB Deju was 13th for BSTV Esports Blue. Charles Walsh was 14th. Alejandro Advani was 15th. And Fiona Siddons for Matthews Logistics with the Vapors Mansfield was 16th tonight. Right. Well, you can't say that small grids don't create good racing, because that was great.
No, I see a lot of fairly small grids, and yeah, it doesn't make any difference. People are here to race, and they'll race. My word, they turned it on there.
Right. They certainly did. Yeah, it was quite an
It was
eventful.
entertaining to see different fresh faces at the front and battling
Yeah,
for places they don't normally, and
absolutely.
taking advantage of that bit of extra space they've got.
Yep. And I think we'll see a few people out testing the track. Now, we're in Japan, of course, Alan.
Yes.
The practice session started at, I think it was something like 25 to 5 in the afternoon in Sim. You should be able to see the skies, and they are darkening.
They are.
And this is not a lit track.
No.
As far as I remember, anyway, this isn't lit. So
No. Well, not very much of it.
no, maybe the start-finish line, and that's about it. So I think it's going to be a bit of a tasty end to this. It might end up in darkness. I'm not really that sure, but I always time my races for as aligned to the official schedule as possible, minus 1 hour for the practice session, obviously. So we'll have to see how this pans out, but that could change things up.
Well, it's certainly going to be different light conditions from the start of the race to the end.
Yes, without a doubt. I'm just going to follow Lee around here and see if he does a practice pit stop, because you really do need to practice it. It's not something you can just turn up and do. I remember doing rookie seasons around here and missing the pit lane completely. Oh no, he's pulled over. As they do tend to do, they like to perplex me. I think Stephen Walker definitely will. He was practicing the pit stops at the in the warm up to the last race, so he can only probably repeat that in this one.
If you're going to call for anybody who was likely to be practicing his pit stop, I'll put money on Stephen to be the one.
Yeah, I don't think he's got the time to get round, to be honest. We're already 3.5 minutes
He's
into
very
a 5 minute.
methodical, isn't
Yeah.
he, Stephen?
Yeah.
Thought through driver. Do admire that in him.
Yes, definitely. And we're about to find out who's on the pole, because I don't remember how many positions we reverse, even though I do it every week. Alex is saying that the suites for tonight didn't launch, so that's okay. It's holiday season at the minute anyway, so hopefully we can attract some other races for the second half of the season at some point, and get them into the swing of it, ready for season 14, which will follow season 13, obviously, after a little intermission. Lights are on, Alan, already. As in headlights.
Yes, well, we can see it's getting dim. I don't think they moved the lights yet, but certainly they've lit up already, so
Yeah.
that's a good sign for the near future.
Yeah, let's see if Stephen does pit. So you stay right, well, you go to the left and then you dive for pit road about here normally. He's going round for a racing lap anyway. But yeah, it's super tight. Shedding the speed is difficult and without crashing. 18:39 sim time, it'll be dark, says Marco Nemela. So yeah, what time are we on? Let's just have a quick look. Race information. It's got to be in here somewhere. What time does it say on there? It doesn't give you a time. Brilliant. Okay, let's go to... have we got the grid up? Not yet. No grid yet. Now we should have a grid, because it just ticked over as I said that. So, Jamie Wilson, pole man. We remember the Great Wall of Honda. It might be a Great Wall of Team Chimera, one-man army. He is off on pole. Tony Walker off second. Demis Tigchalar off third for Hydro Race Racing Forces. Stefan Goebel will go off fourth. Rob Sharp goes off fifth for Fiercely Forward. Freddie Van Eekhoven off sixth for Hydro Race Racing Forces. Adam Wright off seventh for BSTV. Eighth will be Lee Bowden for Safeguard. His teammate will be next to him, one row back, Carl Hardy. 10th will be Stephen Walker for Hydro Race Racing Forces. No, Hydro Race Geodesic Racing. White. Gary Craig, BSTV. In 11th, Miguel 12th for Impulse Racing. I've got a button to press, I can't find it. And we're going already, so everybody else will have to wait. Sorry, folks.
Green, green, green.
And we're gone.
Wow, come on. They lifted very well there. Just boom.
Yeah, they did. And Jamie
Until I
Wilson,
started.
whole shot for Jamie Wilson. He's doing a great job.
Well, you know, I
Actually.
look at the front of this grid and you've got some determined battlers there right at the front.
Yeah, I think we're 3 wide through there. Oh,
You know.
Stefan's gone. I don't know what happened. We'll have a look at it in a minute. Once all the rest of it calms down, because it's getting a bit hairy back here where Gary Craig and Miguel and Stephen are at the moment, as they try and get to the front as fast as they can, because that's usually the pattern.
Well, we've got a split between the top 4 and Mr. Sharp.
Yes, we do. There is a definite gap. So whatever happened, I think, was in there, because that's where Stefan would have been as well, I think. Can't see anybody else with damage.
No. Well,
Miguel trying to take him 3 wide back there.
I think you'd have a hard time defending him on this field against Miguel, but it's, you know, everybody's quick and you've got to find the pace.
Miguel's dropped in, which is probably a sensible option, as Charles Walsh creeps up behind him there.
Okay, the flatters are already, they're not paying any attention to their cold tyres, they give them no credit, they don't care.
No, they're not. This is a very controlled approach to this 40-minute race from Miguel so far. He's had opportunities where he could have sent it, or he could have muscled his way through, and he's not taken them, well, not yet anyway. Very mature, but he is a very experienced racer, we know that to be true. Stefan, sadly, is in the pits, so we're going to go and find out exactly what happened to him.
Rob was just there slowing down.
Was
Did
he?
you see that? Yeah.
Ah, Rob.
Whoa.
Yeah, Rob Sharp and Stefan got together, and Stefan came out severely the worst for it. So just having another look at that again. We've seen Rob do that move on other people very safely tonight already twice. So he's got on the inside. Yeah. I don't know whether Stefan would have expected him to be there. I don't know. But yeah.
Unfortunate. Very unlucky for Stefan, I think, really.
Yeah, I'd agree. Right, back to this racing. So nobody's really moved around just yet. Everybody stayed where they were. Let's see if we can...
And again, he's behind good drivers, you know. It's not easy for him to get past Gary. It's not. You know, oh, he's nipped past him now. He's got to get past me. He's having to fight past good drivers here.
Oh, very much so, yeah. Oh, and he's just managed to get past Gary there. Yeah.
Yeah. But every one of them's going to give him a difficult time. None of them are going to lay down for him.
No, not at all. And great to see. Absolutely brilliant to see. Stefan back on the track and racing. He had to go to pit road to repair the car. He's done well to get round, so well done. And he might still pick up places here. You just don't know. That pit stop can be a bit evil at times, so others might suffer.
It's credit to the man that is back on the circuit.
Yes.
There's a lot of people would have given.
I think there's quite a lot that would have done, yeah. They'd have thrown in the hat and said enough's enough.
Because, you know, effectively stops you taking up a leading position. You don't want to get a top 5. It'd be very unusual to get a top 5 from off the bat in 16th in this field.
Yeah.
But determination, we've seen it before with Stefan. Determination and stickability has brought him little harvests of points that, you know, by the end of the season is always there or thereabouts.
Absolutely, yeah.
He scores lots of points over the season. It's by his stickability, you know. He always comes back. He always finishes races. He can. It's physically possible. He'll always come back and finish the race.
Yeah, I like him. He sticks with it always, and he's absolutely loyal to the Audi, which I think is fantastic, to be honest.
Yes.
Freddie Van Eekhoven doing a great job here for Hydro Race Racing Forces of keeping Carl Hardy behind
Keeping
him.
Cole behind him.
Yep.
Yes. But him and Carl have had some really good battles, haven't they, ever since the get-go? I remember the first race that Freddie did, in fact, the first couple of weeks. And he was running at the same pace as Carl, straight from the get-go. And they were having some really good tussles. So, yeah. Nobody will give in. And, you know, both good drivers, both skillful.
Yeah.
They run close and it's exciting.
Very much so.
Adam would love a situation like this, because he is a racer to the core of his being, and he'll enjoy trying to sniff out an opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, this group here is... they're very even, is the best way to describe it. Jamie Wilson's still your race leader at the moment. Domestic Char in second. Tony Walker doing a splendid job.
Well, this is it, you see. You've got Tony's... his pace has picked up recently, and, you know, he's gritty.
Yes.
He is, and he's not going to give. You know, he's making that car wide, and yeah, I thought from the pole they looked like fairly determined. I mean, if you look, they're still there in front. Wilson, Tigler, Charles Walker. You know, you're thinking, right, well, these are all tough scrappers, and they've all got good, decent pace. We've seen all of them running close to the front of the races.
Yes, very much so. I mean, this is, what's that? 11. According to SDK, we've got an 11-car fight for first place, and we're how many laps in? 4 laps in. We don't often see that. Oh, there's a car just peeled off for pits, and Stephen Walker and Gary Craig have decided it's possible, even from this distance, to get to the end. They don't want any part of the cars in front of them getting in their way and slowing them down. They've decided to take a very clear undercut. So Marco Namela, if you're watching, let's have your opinion on this undercut, seeing as you are the king of it, the Namela effect.
That's a bit early.
It's very early. It's probably the earliest we've ever seen in a race, to be honest, but I don't know what the fuel usage is around here. Usually Okayama is quite a high fuel usage track. Maybe they know something about it that we don't. Maybe the TCRs are easier to handle in terms of fuel saving. I'm not sure.
Well, you know, you've got to take notice, Pete, because they're two of the canniest pit stoppers I know of.
Oh, Tony Walker into second place. Very nice overtake. Very, very tidy.
Well, that's fantastic.
I want to watch that again. It was that good.
Oh, well, that's great.
Look at this. Pops out.
You know, it's hard to get past. It's hard to get past Demis.
It is, yeah.
We've seen him defending already this season.
Just late enough on the brakes.
Right, just did it on the brakes.
Oh,
beautiful.
Gorgeous overtake. Nice work.
Oh, just kept his line, kept his nerve.
Yep.
He's good at big road crowd.
And he's just decided it's time for pits. So he's followed his brother's lead.
Yeah. Oh my word, Wolf coming in.
Yeah.
So we've got Carl and Adam as well.
Yep, I thought that Adam was going to push Carl over the line then. So they've reacted very, very clearly. 2 Racing Forces cars are still out with Jamie Wilson.
I was not the king of the fuel savers, you know.
No, I do know that. Led right foot, I think.
That's, oh crikey. I hope he's not had too many pies tonight and it's affected his judgment.
Yeah, oh, that's a bit of a rabble back there, look. So this is out of the pits. And I get the feeling that Gary has done a great job there, to be fair. By pitting earlier, he's got the jump on Adam and he's got the jump on Carl. But not on Tony Walker. Tony Walker has done a fantastic job there. Right. So Miguel Freitas passes Rob Sharp just there, off shot, but he managed it. And sets off after the 2 Racing Forces cars next. Again, a very calm, calculated approach to this race.
He's moved into 4th position. He's not in broke sweat. He's just casually using his pace and just moving through the field, calm as you like. He's not having to stress out or anything like anything.
No, and I don't think he's that much delayed either in the position he's in, to be honest. He's now got open track in front of him to those two Audis, and obviously our current race leader, Jamie Wilson, Team Chimera.
All of them going at a good pace.
They all, yeah, they're all putting up good times.
And Miguel's got time on them, and you know it will make an impact when he closes in.
Yeah, I mean now, if you weren't going to pit on lap 4, which is unbelievable that they have done. As Stephen Walker pops in at the fastest lap of this race. If you weren't going to go in on that lap, that is Demis Ticcilar for the lead, and it might be 2 Racing Forces cars that get to the front of this race, although that Elantra is fast. Good grief.
Well, that would be so. We haven't seen 2 Racing Forces cars at the front together.
No, and I think if I'm a betting man, given the fact that he's got a rolling roadblock in front of him, I think we'll see Miguel peel to the pits, because he's probably not going to want to get delayed by these guys. Unless he can pick them off very, very fast. He's off the gas. Did you see that?
Yeah.
He was off the gas very early. I'm going to stick with this camera angle because it shows us...
Interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting, actually, seeing the cars doing their thing. No, Miguel... Oh, yes, I thought so, and I thought that might be the case. He doesn't want to get delayed, so he's into the pits.
Yeah. Well, there wasn't a fast way past those lot.
No. Leah's gone with him. Now, I wonder if this falls into that bracket of it's not one tactic or the other.
Well, Lee will have been talking to Carl as well, so they'll have talked about this and what's the best shot at the moment.
Yeah, and Demis Ticcilar leads laps for Racing Forces.
Well, it'd be great to see both of them at the front. Not that I would ever wish any ill on Jamie.
Yeah, now Miguel has come out into a lot of traffic here.
Yes, I'm not sure that he's been benefited very much, except, you know, he's in a tougher bunch than he was before.
Yeah, it's chancy, isn't it? We've got this ridiculousness going on here. That was nearly 3 wide into hairpin corner there.
Just got hold of that in time, didn't he?
Yeah, if Freddie can get in the gas, he can lever Jamie Wilson out of the corner, but he couldn't quite do it.
Oh, crikey.
Oh dear. It's tight through there. That's epic racing, and here we go again. Tony Walker.
It's Fiona.
Yeah, Fiona's doing a good job. She's on their lap, so more than within her rights to battle for the positions. And sticking to the racing line as Adam and Miguel also dive down the inside there.
So, best at that point.
Yeah. Freddie Van Eekhoven is in pit lane at the moment, as all this is developing. And we've got Demis Ticcilar. He's got a big gap.
1.5 seconds.
Yeah, that's tidy, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm just watching Fiona's continuing progress in the race. At the back of this group now. I mean, I've been in races where you've got some super fast guys going past. It can be a bit unnerving, to be honest. Because they do approach at a rapid rate of knots.
I get that in every race, Pete.
So, Tony Walker approaching Alejandro Advani, who is yet to pit. Tony Walker has got it absolutely switched on tonight. What? I don't know what he's been eating, but it suits him.
suppose if you're not winning the picture, you might as well play the long game.
Yeah, well, you say
Oh,
that.
there's Jamie. He's popping in.
Yep, Jamie Wilson to pit road. Demis Tichala continues to lead laps. Bob Sharp is now in second place. I've called him about 6 different things tonight. Bob, Robert, Rob. Who knows?
I like Rob. I always thought Rob was pretty good. I know.
I wondered what was happening to Alejandro Advani, but he's just peeled off to the pits.
But I think Mr. Sharp's a threat for this race.
So, our one-time race leader pops out. Ooh, no, he doesn't. I was going to say in front of Freddie Van Eekhoven, but he's absolutely alongside him.
Miguel's down in ninth behind Adam. He's not making much progress. That's where he was before.
Yeah, so Freddie manages to get Jamie Wilson behind him. And for the cars that were leading the race before, they're quite away from the lead now. So pitting early was definitely the recipe for Okayama, I think.
Well, the earliest pitters were the two that I would have said were the two of the smartest. That's along with Sam, two of the smartest.
Yeah.
Pit stop Genie. We've got the geniuses at it.
Yeah, definitely. So,
We've seen all of those three take advantage in a race through clever pit stops.
we have. So Gary Craig trying to get underneath Tony Walker here. Tony will want to fight that, and he's doing so very well. That was very controlled. He's got Miguel Freitas breathing down his neck now. But Gary has been released into the second of the pit stoppers. Tony Walker still doing what I'd consider to be an amazing job. Bit of lights flashing. You can all quit that right now. Everybody stop flashing the lights. I know you can. I know you're listening to me. As Miguel dives it on the inside of first corner, but he's on the wrong side for turn 2. Is he going to hang it out there? He can't.
Ooh.
He can't do it.
It's the long way round. It's risky business.
Yeah. But we've seen that Miguel is very good here. On Atwood and charging up this hill, although it doesn't seem that he's got a great deal of overspeed on Tony Walker at the moment. I mean, the draft will definitely help. Being that close has got to be an advantage. And we know Miguel is... Ooh, he's been very careful. Oh, no, he hasn't. It's just that Tony sadly got a bit too late on the brakes. And
It's unfortunate. It's going to cost him.
yeah. Go on, slot yourself in front of Adam. Yes, right, okay, so not too much damage for Tony Walker. Being a little bit offline there.
He's driving really well. I don't think we've seen a better performance from Tony than this.
No, this
He's
is
driving
exemplary,
really well.
this. He's just fended off Adam Wright, who is fast. And he's absolutely slammed the door shut in his face, so nice racing. But just behind these guys is this group that have been seesawing away and towards one another. We need to shout out to Demis Tichala, who's still leading this race, but not for much longer if Robert Sharp can do anything about it.
I think Robert's a serious contender for this race, even already. We've seen the pace of the guy. He's been genuinely quick, and if anybody's going to catch him, look, he's got all this clear track in front of him. If he gets in front there and starts putting in some fast laps, I think it's going to take some stopping.
I do as well, yeah, definitely. Ooh.
But Dennis has given him plenty of bother.
He is. He's given him a bit of a door-to-door Rubbins racing just there. But Robert Sharp takes the lead of this race. Albeit possibly for a limited period of time. Did I see Adam Wright had just got past Tony Walker? I did. So that has now resolved itself, for now anyway. Fully expect Tony Walker to be able to launch a comeback the way he's been driving tonight. And yeah, Demis should have pitted already to protect his position. So maybe it's pit stop time for these guys, but really they want to run it now.
You've got to run it as long as you can.
Yeah,
haven't you?
it's one or
that
the other.
decision was made a while ago, but look how the light's failing now, Pete.
Yes. But would you want to be in this rabble with the fading light? Adam, stop flashing your lights. Everybody stop flashing.
They're still tight. Look, I mean, they're still amazingly close, aren't they?
They are.
Everyone's quick at this circuit, Pete, basically.
Seems to be.
These are all good drivers, and this is just a classic circuit.
Good grief. I think Gary's flashing his lights now. What the hell? Everybody's stop flashing. You know I don't like it. Right, so up the hill. What can Miguel do about Gary? This is just about the closest battle on track, but there's quite a few of them. You can see it on your timing towers there, folks.
It's
very even,
so
isn't it?
difficult.
Very even.
You've got to do it on the braking. You can't do it by getting. Not when you're against somebody as good as Gary. You're not going to get an advantage from the last corner there. So you've got to do it on the braking. And how do you do that against Gary as well?
Yeah. Gary, who is
a real challenge for me to get by here.
Yeah, Gary's gone out to defend his title in SRL League, which is now, I think, JP something League. Don't really have the details of that to advertise it, but we should all advertise one another's leagues because
Absolutely. Yeah, we're all brothers together in
all
this.
brothers together. Yeah. That is Charles Walsh in front, who will be a lap down shortly. He's not pitted yet, so these guys are bearing down on him quite quick now. But from what I can see, Gary's keeping it clean, and there's not many opportunities for Miguel to take advantage of. I mean,
well, that's the thing, Gary's got good pace, and as long as he doesn't make any errors, how do you get past him? When you've only got a tenth in hand or something like that, Having said that, he's saving fuel, his car's getting light. He's not having to do much but just truck along here.
Yeah, Miguel's got the tiniest of runs here. Tiniest. Oh, he did have that Veloster. I think has got a bit of tow from Charles Walsh. Maybe not. That car's too far away at the moment.
Craig's doing good laps as well.
He is, yeah.
So nice.
I'm just going
to
switch.
Take a risk and get in a big fight with him.
Yeah, I'm switching to this one. The battle we were with is in front of us. And this is on board with Carl Hardy. You can see the Frey Bentos pies just in the footwell on the right there.
He doesn't bother taking them out the tins anymore.
No, he just eats the tin. Yeah.
It's convenience food.
Well, why be delayed by, the inconvenience of metal?
Yeah. And baking.
Yeah. Oh, hang on. That was a bit weird. Right, so.
Oh, this is it. He's gambled everything on this brave move here.
Oh. And there's contact, is there? Maybe.
Well,
I mean, Charles has got everything to race for. This is 4th position, even though he's got a pit stop to give. We're going to go and look at what happened on that last corner, because they all came out of it very much out of shape, and it looks like Gary's been the big loser in that. Miguel.
It's Gary and Miguel were fighting here, of course.
Yeah.
And Charles has got to go in the pit, so he's
flashing
really in a
behind?
different race.
Everybody's flashing behind. Could you all stop flashing? Deary me. It's like having a load of 5-year-olds. Even my cats are better behaved than these guys.
Oh, it's tight side by side.
That was contact.
Oh!
Contact between
Charles
Walsh and Gary.
Word.
Gives Adam Wright the opportunity here on a bit of overspeed to do something about that. We're going to go back and watch.
Okay, that was a good save by Gary.
It was. We're going to go back and watch this, because something happened at last corner. and I don't know what it was, but Miguel was suddenly beside everybody. Oh, Gary got a massive run and had nowhere to go with it, and Miguel managed to just pop out of the slipstream in time to take advantage. So, I mean, you've got to say that's great opportunist driving from Miguel.
Yeah.
Let's go back.
It was Charles saw him and made allowances. It's good driving by both of them. Oh my word!
And that was, I think, Charles turning in on the front of. He's getting a bit roughed up back here actually. And maybe again as Lee Bowden tries to navigate past him. Oh no! Dear. That's ended badly. Oh, no! Oh. Dear. So, sadly, we saw that live, so I'm not going to show it again. It was Freddie Van Eekhoven that was involved in that one. We do need to have a look at the Carl Hardy one.
Goodness me.
I know. We go over the top of this one. So Carl got a bit of a bonnet ahead, but alongside, but not a lot. Charles turned in as he thought he could do, and that was the end of that one. And then we saw what happened after that with Lee. Right, so I'm sure that will sort itself out in the discussions later on. So where are we up to? Rob Sharp is your race leader at the moment. He owes us a pit stop, as does second place Demis Dicchalar, and third place JB Dejoux, who's keeping it on the black stuff very nicely.
Yeah, running nicely in the middle of the 138. It's good lap times.
Very good.
Consistent.
Yeah.
He's driving well.
Stephen Walker is the first of our pit-stopped cars. He's got quite a lead now, actually, over Miguel Freitas. 4 seconds is the lead. And then another 3 seconds to Gary Craig, just coming over the top of the hill there in the background, who leads a little train of cars, 5 strong, all of them trying to get into, well, what will be third place. So Gary Craig currently holding that position, unless, of course, Robert Sharp has done some blistering laps in the meantime. He's done some recently.
He's done some great
very fast laps, actually. Yeah.
He's not getting ahead of Gary Craig and Miguel Freitas. He's not.
No.
It's hit the 37s, but they're late 37s, and they will hunt him down. It just depends what the gap is. How long is it? What kind of a gap is there between Rob Sharp and Miguel Freitas?
Between Rob and Miguel, there's 21 seconds.
How long is it going to take him in the pit?
Something like 37 seconds as full pit road time. They're not stationary for very long at this track, so it must be a low fuel usage track. As Lee Bowden having a look at Tony Walker there.
It sounds like he could maybe still come out top 3, doesn't it? Does that sound like he could come out top 3?
He will probably come out. Where's Rob? I think he'll probably. I think you'll find he might come out about 10th.
Oh dear.
He got delayed at the start, if you remember. His car didn't look too clever, did it? And he was dropping back.
That's right.
He was on a bit of a recovery drive. Yeah.
So that's going to come back and bite him now, isn't it?
It is.
Because that's just, yards covered.
Yeah.
And he hasn't covered them.
Yeah, Freddie was unfortunately, as Alex is saying on the chat, a bit of a victim there. We can watch it from his on board. So here he comes sailing towards Atwood. There's a car off right there. He knows it's there, and well.
Oh, it's Charles.
Not a lot you can do with that one.
No, unfortunate for both drivers there.
I think so. Yeah.
And it was very fast. You could see the pace you carry into that, and you're braking hard there.
Yeah, Tony Walker, who was doing such a great job at the start, finds himself in 10th now. But I think he'll...
Good running though, his time's still good.
I think he's possibly got positions to pick up after the top 3 have pitted their cars. So I don't think it's at all a bad thing for Tony. Gary Craig starting to stretch his legs again now after what happened at last turn.
Oh, interesting.
Corner,
He's a
sorry.
37.5 and so's Rob Sharp.
Yeah.
It's usually incredible pace the man's got. They're all 137.5s. This is great driving, isn't it? I wish I could go around here 137.5. Goodness me.
Yeah. Me too. I mean, I'd struggle to do that in an F1 car probably, but Alex Savillano says he thinks that a lot of people flash because you can see more depending on your graphics setting. I think all that does is give them a very, very broad excuse to keep flashing their lights, to be honest. Some gaps forming between the cars now, and maybe that's to do with the darkness.
The light is... Well, you know what it's like. When you're in close with everybody, it doesn't affect you so much. As soon as you start to spread out and you lose the lights of the guy in front, it gets increasingly difficult.
Yeah, it definitely does. And we've got our latest visitor to pit road is JB Deshu. So only 2 more to go of the top lot, because Charles Walsh is back here nursing his car around now. I think he's got quite a lot of damage, obviously, after everything that went on. And Fiona still yet to pit, but doing a good job.
Crikey, he must be on fumes, surely.
I know, yeah. All these last 4 cars must be. Freddie Van Eekhoven now in 11th. I don't know, did he lose any places? No, he didn't. So even though he was in that little fracas, he didn't actually lose any positions. He might do shortly, because that's JB Deshu fresh out of the pits.
JB's come out of the pits, yeah.
No damage on JB's car. Not that we know of, anyway.
Tidy stop, I think, as well.
Sorry?
Tidy stop is just done as well, so it's going well.
Yeah. I mean, he stopped 10 laps after all the cars around him, which is impressive. I suppose they've got to go 10 laps longer than him at this end, but there you go. Yeah.
He wouldn't put much fuel in, that's why he wasn't in there very long.
Yeah. Demis Tigchalar out of 2nd place after leading laps, enters pit road.
Yes, and he was leading quite a few laps, wasn't he? Had 2 or 3, I think.
Oh, I think he was leading for about 5 actually in the end.
Yeah,
We were watching other things going on.
He was doing very well there. Yeah, he looks happy enough in the front, happy and confident.
Yep.
Driving well.
Demis.
It's a race tonight, nobody's giving anything. Look at the times, all those 37s are in this.
Yeah. I think I might have been well off, because if Demis has come out in 9th place, then I think Rob Sharp will be in advance of that as Charles Walsh enters the pits. He's got a fast repair, so that Audi will fix itself quite quickly. Fiona, this must be the end of the fuel, because Fiona's in as well. The only car still to pit is Rob Sharp, and Miguel Freitas is lighting up the fastest sector time screen. He's got purple sectors in sector 1 and last lap sector 4. And I think you can now see 2.5 seconds further up the road, Stephen Walker. And yes, that was the end of the fuel for everybody. Rob Sharp into the pits. Out of the lead. Let's see where he can manage to pop back out.
It's a shame about that time he lost earlier, because his lap times have been impeccable. His driving was really good. Mind you, he did have those slight run-ins, didn't he, with some tight overtakes on the undercuts.
Yes, definitely. Let's have a look and see what Stephen Walker can see in the darkness. It's not that bad, is it?
Nah.
It's almost like daylight. Don't know what they'd even complain about.
Well, he's having to do it all by himself, so it's always easier when you've got company, I find, in the dark.
Yeah, Rob
But maybe
Sharp.
not that kind of
Oh, no,
company.
no, no!
No.
About to say, Rob Sharp has just come out right alongside Carl Hardy. And we're going to have to watch that again.
Oh, I hope his car's okay. Well, that doesn't look good, does it?
No, it doesn't. So they were side by side. Carl has straightened his car up.
Oh, what happened there?
Don't know. We're going to watch it from a little bit. Oh, is that the same amount of...
He looked like he just
Right.
maybe just caught him or something.
Yeah, so Carl Hardy sailed it a little bit deep into turn one, and Rob had a better launch out of it, side by side through these corners, and then straightened up the car.
He must have just caught him on the wing there.
It's
Touched.
marginal, isn't it?
Oh, it's the slightest just nudge.
Yeah.
Slightest thing, goodness. Oh, that's very unfortunate. Cole was driving incredibly well there. It was,
Yeah.
there you go, but that's it, you know, it's close racing and these things will just happen.
Yeah. Stefan's just entered the pits for a second time.
Oh no. Don't like some of that.
No.
Oh, we go. He goes putting on the coal.
Oh god, yeah. 137.018. Half a second faster than Stephen Walker ahead of him, and nearly half a second faster than Gary Craig behind him, who is very, very fast at the moment. It's a personal best time for him in this race, at least.
He's driving superbly, I think. Yes, Gary's really, I think he's judged this race beautifully tonight. He's there.
Yeah, he's done a great job with it.
His pace has been fantastic. He's never overdriven. He's just managed to keep out of the bother. It's been hard work tonight for these drivers.
Yeah, it really has, yeah. So, could be a double podium for Miguel, Gary and Stephen, which would be remarkable. Different positions being exchanged. And we can see Stephen Walker there just ahead. There's only 2 minutes to go. I don't know whether that means it's 2 laps to go. I think it's 2 laps because there's no flag flying there. That's why I was on board watching that one as JB starts to close in again on Freddie Van Eekhoven.
So Rob's in 5th. Well, that's,
yeah.
I think that's not bad.
No, that's very good. I'm sure Carl Hardy will think it should be 6th, but
Yes.
we'll see.
Yes. Well, I think that was. I don't think you can call that either way. That was just pure racing incident for me. That's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Carl won't feel aggrieved by that.
And Alex says it'd be great if Freddie could catch Jamie Wilson, but with damage it's going to be a tough ask, and yeah, I'd agree with that. As Miguel Freitas puts in a 136.991. He's munching away at the lead ahead of him. Will it be enough though? I don't know that it will be. It'll take a big mistake from Stephen Walker now.
Right, he's running out of time.
Yeah, this is going to be a massive victory for Stephen Walker, I think. Stefan gets out of the way, and they get across the line with just 20 seconds to go, 1 lap to go.
Well, they're back then for the purple now, I would say.
I think, unless I'm mistaken, I don't think anybody's beaten Miguel's time of a 1:36.99. I don't think anybody else has done a time of 1:36.
No, I don't think anybody else, as far as I know. And I normally watch these things pretty close.
Yeah.
It's always thrilling. It's always interesting. It is. Yeah, that 36 was an absolutely stunning time.
Yeah. And Alex says solid evening for Adam. He's not wrong. Adam got a 6th in the first race, I think, and a 4th in this one.
Yeah. It's been so tough tonight.
Yes.
You've got to take your hats off to the podium sitters at the moment. Because to actually do that in 2 races tonight, it's been so tough, the racing, that's formidable.
Yeah, and Freddie is catching Jamie Wilson. And a reasonable rate of knots as well, half a second a lap. He could be on this at the very death of the race here. Where is Stephen?
Ooh, I can't imagine that Jamie's going to give away that easily.
Do you know what? There's not much between Stephen and Miguel here. 0.6 of a second it's come down to at the end. I don't know whether Stephen's light on fuel, but Miguel is definitely catching very, very fast.
Oh, he's not
going to do it. Oh, that was close though. There was something going on there with fuel, I'm pretty sure. As Gary Craig
well, he did
home ahead of
36.893.
Wow.
To finish the race.
Okay.
That's serious effect, because everybody else would have been doing their eyeballs out as well. So Gary would have been, and so would have been, and so Stephen would have as well. They like to pick up these purples and pick out.
Yeah. Jamie Wilson just about stays ahead of Freddie and JB Dejoux at the end of that race there.
Yeah, well, it's one thing to catch up with Jamie, it's another thing to get by him.
Oh, yeah. We've seen it time after time. He does excellent defensive driving just by making his car 1.5 cars wide, if it were. Not like Carl Hardy, who's 3 cars wide, and that's when he's out of the car.
Well, Carl was unfortunate tonight. He's driven better than that,
Yeah.
I think. But, that's the fortunes of racing.
It is.
And they had a fantastic result in the first race, clearly.
So
I think the driver tonight is going to be a tough one.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of very similar good performances. People who've really had to drive hard and work hard for it.
They really have, yeah. And I think, I don't know, for me, Tony Walker's performance has been excellent.
Fantastic, wasn't it?
In 2 races.
He certainly stuck his hand up there, that's for sure.
Yeah, really has. We're just waiting for, there we go, Fiona over the line. Believe it or not, that was Fiona. It's very, very dark here at Okayama
Very dark now.
Yeah.
I chose Okayama.
Yeah. I mean, Demis did very well. He's got lead laps in that mix.
Lead laps and great performance by him.
Yeah.
There's so many people who've done creditable drives. It's a tough one.
It is.
Lee was fantastic in the first race, and that qualification on the podium, the top 3 quali was fantastic, I thought.
It was great.
And it's just Rob Sharp was driving up there with the best of them.
Yeah, agree.
And
he had a bit of a rough time in the second race at the start, didn't he? He was moving backwards.
Something happened there.
For a while.
But wow.
So Race Direction has made the race official. Stephen Walker is your race winner for round 18 at Okayama. For Hydro Race, Geodesic Racing White. Miguel Freitas finished second for Impulse Racing, but it wasn't much in the end, only half a second. Gary Craig rounds out the podium for this feature race in 3rd place for BSTV, and his teammate followed him home in 4th, about a second back. Rob Sharp finished 5th after all that, fiercely forward. Lee Bowden 6th for Safeguard by Result. Tony Walker was 7th, with Demis Tichlar in 8th place for Hydro Race Racing Forces. Jamie Wilson was 9th for Team Chimera, and the other Hydro Race Racing Forces car came 10th in the hands of Freddie Van Eekhoven. 11th was JB Dejoux for BSTV Esports Blue. Alejandro Advani finished 12th. 13th was Carl Hardy for Safeguard by Result. Fiona Siddons was 14th for Matthews Logistics with Vapors Mansfield. 15th was Stefan Goebel for VTS Esports. And Charles Walsh finished 16th tonight. After getting a bit roughed up in the middle of that
He
second
got
race.
roughed up pretty thoroughly in the mid part, didn't he?
He did.
But he finished. Everybody's finished. So
Yeah.
good to see.
We're going to go back to a point in the race where we actually could see more than just the darkness. We're going to go back to the start of the race. We're going to slow the pace of everything down, choose a nice camera to watch people from, pick somebody in the field to focus on, and then we shall start bringing people in for tonight's round of interviews, Alan.
Yes.
It seems only fair to bring in, where is Live Booth in this mess? Miguel Freitas, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good. Wow, what a stellar performance again. Race 1, round 17, was a flag-to-flag victory for you. Not made terribly easy, really. You had a lot of pressure from Gary and from Stephen till about halfway through that race, and then a gap formed with a little mistake from Gary on the brakes, gave you a bit of a breathing space, yeah?
Yeah, it was really tricky, that race, because I was leading and I was starting to create a gap, and I just got a slowdown on the hairpin, and I had to do. I used the two tight turns to serve the slowdown. So on the first one, I went on the right side, take it a long way. I served it, and when on the second turn, I had already served it, but Steven was on the outside, so I managed to keep the lead.
Yeah.
And then I thought it would be until the end a fight for the win, but I saw that little contact on the hairpin, and I just managed to get away.
Yeah, and race 2, I can honestly say that's probably one of the most mature drives I've seen from you in terms of it's not that easy to overtake at Okayama, is it? If the car in front of you is, making the car kind of 1.5 cars wide, and the cars in front of you were doing exactly that until a couple of them peeled away and pitted very early. Gave you a little bit of breathing space up to those 2 Racing Forces Audis, and then eventually, after all the pit stops were resolved out, you brought the car home in second place, which is a great result for you and a great result for Impulse Racing. Tell us about that race, because it can't have been easy.
No, it was very difficult, and I had to be really patient. I thought I was doing the right strategy by waiting out a little bit and trying to get myself to the front. But everyone was fighting and I was losing time, so I decided to pit as well, like 5 laps after Steven. And he was ahead of a pack of about 5 guys. I got out behind them and I was just losing again more time, and nothing I really could do. I was just looking on the inside and hoping that people would be scared and not break themselves. And 2 or 3 times that worked out, but otherwise I had to just wait until someone made a mistake or something like that to get ahead until I got the clean air. And again, I was catching Steven really fast, but another slowdown with 1 lap to go.
Right, okay.
Really made me lose about 1 second, which was what I needed to catch him. But I guess I wouldn't manage to overtake because he would defend it hard, and on this track it would be impossible to overtake.
Yeah, and you're right. 1 second would have put you half a second in front of him. But as it is, we had some great viewing watching you all race into the darkness. Did the darkness impact you much? It seemed like when we were on board with you that the headlights seemed to illuminate quite a lot of the track.
Yeah, lightning was not a problem. It was just as we transitioned into the darkness, it was good. If the race started at night, I would be thrown off because I did not practice night racing here.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, it was a transition since the first race, so it was okay. And yeah, and the lights were good enough.
Yeah. Yeah. So we go to Virginia International Raceway next week. Usually that's well, some people like it and some people hate it. For me, it is one of my favourite tracks. It's Road Atlanta for me. Then it's Virginia. Then it's probably Mosport, but that's my choices. Where does Virginia stack up for you?
It's really, I haven't raced it much, but yeah, every time I got there, I just love the track, especially now with the remake that iRacing made of the track. I like it even more.
I think still
So
think
yeah,
they should have kept the tree though. Should have kept the tree.
Yeah,
Even if it's
that's
not
true.
there, they should have kept the tree.
Yes.
But
In memoriam.
yeah, too right. But yeah, great watching you race again, Miguel. You didn't have Wobbly to take you out this time, which is probably to your benefit. He's sunning his feet apparently somewhere in France, and that's all he was sunning. But yeah, we look forward to seeing you race next time. Is there anybody you'd like to have a shout out to before we let you go and celebrate your victory and your second position tonight?
Yeah, again, the Impulse Racing and Weeb for, again, leaving me a few setups before he goes on vacation, so I had a good car. And also I want to thank and apologize for last week. I caused a big mess, which thrown the safety car out. And yeah, it was really nice to have a safety car. I don't think only for myself to recover, but for everyone, because that was a big one and everyone would be racing alone.
But
yeah.
no need for you to apologise. You did lose control of the car through the king, but we all blamed Wobbly anyway. So it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, you know. In that case, have a great evening, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time. Miguel Freitas, everybody.
Yeah, have a nice evening.
Well done, Miguel.
Thank you.
Cool. Right. Next, we shall bring into the booth the man, the myth, the legend, with the luckiest underpants in the world. It's Lucky Wookie Walker, who just before the race said this on the chat. Just a minute, let me find it. I've lost it now already. Can't do this track at all. Can't do this track at all. What did I say after that, Stephen?
I think you said expect to win or something. I don't know.
I said why lie, Stephen Walker for the win. And look what we've got. I should have put money on it. I really should have done. So let me select you on the broadcast so we can at least see your name and stuff. So after you finish lying to us, race one, you got bottom step of the podium. Hard fought for, to be honest, and there was a little bit of an incident with Gary, who then let you past, and you were probably shouting at him saying, "Don't let me past later or something if you have to. Just stay with Miguel." But he didn't. He let you through straight away after the hairpin. And you ended up reversing the positions anyway, didn't you?
Yeah, I started off okay, and I got a good start in that first race, and I was like, the only chance I've got to win basically is to try and get ahead of Miguel in the first few laps, and then just see, I don't know, back him up or hold him, not on purpose, but he was just quicker than me, like by a stupid amount quicker. And it nearly worked, but it's just difficult. We were side by side most of the first half of the lap.
That was so good to watch.
So good. That was great, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Really...
obviously, when we went into the corner at the back onto the back straight, he obviously had the ideal line and got a better run. And then Gary was just quicker than me as well. I had, like I told you, I had zero pace. And then when we had the little incident, I was trying not to crash into Miguel. And then he was just quicker than me. I was like, I'm not gonna fight it too much. To be fair, I thought, he won't do it this lap. He'll do it on the last lap, so I can't get him back. And I had one run where I might have been able to get it back, but Carl was catching us really quickly because obviously we were battling, and the pace was between the entire field. The pace was really close, especially like the top 12. I think it was, as you could tell from race 2, the reverse grid. So I was like, I'll take third. I was like, Gary, how much aero you got? So then for the second race, I put the same amount of aero on. And to be perfectly honest, it didn't help. I still was like, I basically won the second race. I got a good start again. Got shattered a little bit, but then made a really good move around the outside of the corner onto the back straight. So I think I was up to 7th or 8th maybe. And then after a couple of laps, I was like, there's no way I'm getting past here. And we knew it was about 6 or 7 liters for a refuel, so we just
good grief.
Yeah, just sent it into the pits.
Yeah.
And I got, and you always say I get lucky, but genuinely, this one time was genuine. Full on lucky, because I came out of the pits and I jumped a lot of the traffic, and the guys that I overtook between didn't put up too much of a fight, or two of them were battling, so that I caught them a bit quicker. But then the other guys, it just took a bit longer. So as they all came out, they got in traffic, and I was in clean air. Like, I wasn't particularly fast, but obviously in clean air you're going faster than them guys. So as soon as Miguel got the clean air, I think the first full lap of clean air was half a second quicker than me.
Yeah, he was
scary.
blistering fast, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's far too quick. Like, I literally won because I got lucky again, and he got stuck in traffic. And had he not had a slowdown on one of the last laps, I think he said when we were chatting just before, he would have caught me, because I crossed the line with 2 laps to go, and I didn't have enough fuel to finish, so I had to just save just enough. So as we crossed the line, it just started spluttering, and I had like 0.225 liters of fuel left. But had he not got the slowdown, he would have. I was nothing I could have done. I needed to save to make it, so I would have just settled for second. So obviously finishing ahead of him is great, winning is great, but genuinely it was full on luck. I had 0 pace. I just had to go the opposite route, like strategy wise rather than pace wise. So I'll take it, but not at any point did I deserve either of my wins. But I'll take it.
Well,
we're going to argue with that, aren't we, Alan?
Because, we'll argue with that.
Because you don't get those positions by pure luck alone. It just doesn't work that way. You've done a fantastic job here. What can you do at Virginia?
It's a track that I like.
You found one.
Never used to like it. Then one time we came here, and I was, I think, half a second quicker than everyone. And I was like, I mean, that's obviously not going to be the case at this point. But it's a track I like. It's quite a technical track. It's about bravery and stuff in a couple of the places. So again, it's just everyone's just really quick. So it's just gonna be really close. The Hondas will probably be super bloody quick as usual, and we'll all just be watching them and hope what they can take each other out, basically.
Well, Wobbly's not back to wipe out his own teammate until the week after, I think. So.
That's such a shame.
I know. And Miguel was apologising for the crash last week, but we've all blamed Wobbly, haven't we? So Miguel's exonerated from all.
Fault.
Oh, of course, yeah, too right. So great racing again tonight. Great to see you back on the top step of the podium. You are one of 2 ex-champions that are in this season. Yourself and Sam, and you're both in the same team. No Sam tonight because he's not feeling it. He's a bit unwell, or very unwell. So we'll wait for him to return. But you've hauled the mail for Geodesic Racing White tonight, and got great coverage for Hydra Race, which are on the rear spoiler of the car as your sponsor. So you must be very proud of that. And do you have anybody you want to shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, obviously you guys putting it on, turning up every week. Again, appreciate it, and it's takes a bit out of stuff. So again, thanks to you guys. The rest of the guys racing was good, clean, fun from what I could see. Anything that's an incident is normally like a racing incident, to be fair, which is okay. And then my brother, I think he had a really good couple of races. I think he finished 7th in race 2 as well. Might be his best, one of his best finishes.
Tonight, Stephen.
He was.
He was
from him, I think.
Yeah,
really
I think it's starting to click just a little bit more every race. So just want to say I told you so to him.
Yeah.
And then to Gary for redressing that position. He didn't have to do that. And then just the rest of Miguel for just being the world's stupidly quick driver. So it's nice to go. It's nice to go up against that, because it pushes you to go better. But I don't mind this track, but clearly I didn't get on with it.
Yeah,
Well, I
So
don't
slow.
know. You
So
seem to
slow.
be you're doing pretty well.
Yeah.
It's not normally people rubbish don't normally win races, Stephen. I have to
No,
say.
I got a lucky qualifying
Even
lap.
if you're lucky.
Lucky qualifying lap. Anyway, we shall see you probably in your blistering fast pace as normal at Virginia next week. Stephen Walker, everybody.
Yeah, cheers, guys. Thank you.
Good that, Stephen. even if it was reduced to having no luck, I suspect his blistering fast pace and incredible craftsmanship and racing skill might help.
I know, yeah. He'd be lucky if all the panels fell off his car and it reduced the weight down and he still won. Now in the booth we've got double podium for the evening. Gary Craig, good evening.
Fantastic.
Good evening.
Yeah.
Good evening, Gary.
So race 1, second place. A bit of to do at one point with Stephen. Miguel didn't really get that far away because of a couple of slowdowns. But in the end, he did, and you followed him home. Is that your best result this season? I think it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know whether I've had any other second places, but I definitely haven't won any. But yeah, you probably heard me from the booth shout, "Yeet, send it."
That was well. I thought you'd popped out and just got your braking point wrong when you and Stephen came together, but you gave the position back immediately. I expected him to be shouting at you, saying, "Just keep going, and if we need to redress the position later, just stay with Miguel." But you gave it back immediately, and then
Well,
got the position anyway.
I wasn't actually trying to overtake at that point. He broke a bit early because I think Miguel broke early, he said. So I just had to go to the inside to try and avoid hitting him. So we still clipped. It was just a 0x. But I obviously didn't want that to be how I got past anyway. So I was always going to, whether it was a misunderstanding or not, we were always going to kind of try and get back to how we were.
Yeah, I mean, the season it's not panning out precisely like last year. But you're proving that the consistency gets you to the top of the standings table. Obviously, there's a bunch of people not here that are immediately in front of you in the league. So you'll probably jump Wobbly and Sam Blees. May even get over the Spencer McCarthy boundary. I'm not sure how the points work because it doesn't sound like you got any incident points potentially. Although you might have done from whatever was going on with Charles Walsh in the second race. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that was
contact there was.
I don't know if I got any contact, but that was just a little bit aggressive of him when,
Right.
I don't know, maybe slightly using your head when defending when somebody's already pretty much through. But, these things happen.
They do from time to time.
I know I was 0x in the first race, and I can't remember if I didn't actually notice what I had in the second. I was too busy racing.
Yeah, really?
quite an intense one for a lot of it.
Yeah. So tell us about
Really?
that second race and driving into the darkness. I mean, it looked pretty bright, to be fair, with the headlines.
I mean, I heard this little voice in my head that it was your voice, and I think it said. It's something like, "God, I love discos. I wish everyone could just flash their lights together and give me a disco. I want some dancing."
It was a conspiracy. That's all I can say.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden the lights started flashing. It was amazing. It was beautiful.
Everybody though. That was pre-scripted.
Somebody, I'm not going to name names, may have said something on the in-race radio to have a bit of a flash. Everyone, I'm not going to say who it was.
Well, it's not Flashy Elmore because he's not even here. So I'm pretty sure it was you.
No, I would never do that.
Never. As if
Never.
Gary would do that.
No.
So,
But the second race, I got a really good start. I got past Wook. I was going down the inside of a bunch of cars, and then on the inside onto the hairpin, onto the back straight, Lee just broke way early than I thought he was going to, slowed way up, and I lost all those places and more again. I just got stuck at the back of that train. So, I mean, it's first lap things, It's one, I just kind of was a little bit caught off guard and nearly got into the back of him. It was that early. So that kind of cost me all the gains I'd made off the start. And I knew for a fact that if that was the position I was in, I was going to be pitting at the end of lap 4, because I knew I could do that. But then after I pit, Wook obviously saw the same thing. Then everyone else pit like the lap after. So although I did gain a couple of spots, like I was 1.5 seconds faster on my out lap than I was on the previous lap.
Right.
Previous laps, I was just losing so much time. It stuck at the back of the pack. So I did gain some spots. I got a little bit unlucky that I came out beside Adam, but he let me through. Like didn't fight that too hard, and I had to get through Tony. And then it was coming through Charles, I think, that cost the most.
Yeah, we saw you come out of the last turn, or actually, it's called last corner, right underneath his bumper, and you had nowhere to go. You had a good amount extra speed, but had to get out the gas, I think, because Miguel turned the car on a sixpence and fired it on the inside of the both of you.
Yeah, I mean the plan was always to get a good exit and just overtake him on the straight, but I caught him before the exit of the corner. I was
Yeah.
that much quicker. I think the last turn I was like caught out by a little bit by it, and then Miguel got alongside, so I couldn't really do much there.
Yeah. But fantastic entertainment for me and Alan and everybody watching. To be honest, it's been a good evening's racing here at Okayama. Virginia is next, and I know that you liked it the last time you were here because you admitted it.
Yeah, I know. I've hated that course for about 10 years that I've been doing iRacing.
Yeah.
But the new scan of it, like the first time I drove it last season, it was really good. I was enjoying it, and I was quick there. So I'm hoping that's going to continue over to this season. So yeah, I'm looking forward to doing the midget dirt oval at Virginia.
Yeah, and you're defending your SRL title, even though it's not called that anymore. And how did that go in your first race?
It didn't because
Oh.
there was a slight error setting up the session, so it turned into a media day. So round 1 next week.
Ah, okay, there you go. Free advertising.
But it's looking quite strong this season, so I'm definitely going to struggle to defend it, but it should be good fun racing it anyway.
Well, it's not enjoyable necessarily if it's terribly easy, is it? So, best of luck with that, and we'll see you next time out at Virginia. Anybody you'd like to have a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, I mean, shout out to Wook, a really good race in the first one there. And Miguel had fantastic pace tonight with that crazy fast time at the end there, the second one. And yeah, just to everyone else who's racing and watching, it just makes the league fun. So yeah, we'll see you next week at the Midget Dirt Oval in Virginia.
yeah, that'd be class if it was, but it's not. So
which pits are we using actually, Pete?
all of them, like I do.
All of them.
All
Take
of
your
them.
pick. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That's good.
All of them are good. We'll see you next time out. Gary Craig, everybody.
Cheers, guys.
Good night, Gary.
He had to flush himself, then I lost control of everything. Right, next up, we've got, for our interview pleasure, Jamie Wilson. Good evening.
Hello.
I have to admit, I didn't get back in time to do the video ninja thing, so
Never mind.
I'll tune that in ready for Saturday. I think is the next time I control a broadcast.
Careful.
I know, yeah.
Crap.
Well,
broadcast.
I nearly choked on my own tongue just before that, but I managed to cover it well. Apparently not. Right, what did you do in the first race? Let's have a quick look.
The crap. Funny enough, speaking of which.
Oh,
yeah.
12th. That's
Well, I got
un-Jamie
pole, I
like.
suppose.
Yeah, you got pole for the second race. We saw you dueling with a number of different cars tonight. Tony Walker was with you for a lot of the first race, and he was doing a fantastic job tonight. He obviously, that car track combination for him suits it. For yourself, did you struggle for any particular reasons in the first race?
Oh, hang on. Let me just.
Are you going to get the book out?
Hang on a minute.
Is it signed by me or not?
No, it's like a passport stamp sort of thing. No, it's Green Shield stamps or whatever. But the let's start the list. So I didn't have much practice. I only jumped in for the last 20 minutes or so of the session. And more importantly, this is just a really bogey track for me anyway.
Right.
If you remember when back when we had Simon doing it as well in the Honda in the bad old days, we were just like 170th round here out of 20 or whatever. So it was just awful. And I was just saying to Fiona in the waiting room that this track, there's a knack to driving TCR specifically.
Yes.
I think I'd be much better around here in a Clio or a V8 or anything else. But the TCR has a knack, and you need the most command of that knack around here. It just exacerbates any non-knack having that you might have.
Yeah.
So yeah,
A lack of knack.
A lack of knack.
A knack lack.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
knackless.
and in the second race, where did you come in the second race?
I know what you mean
ninth.
about that, though, Jamie. I know exactly what you mean. This car has got characteristics; they're all its own, hasn't it? And I think you're right. You probably would be quicker around here in other cars, but the characteristics of this car are really quite powerful. And if you're not comfortable with it around this circuit, that's going to be difficult.
Yeah. Anyone that can crack the knack will have an immaculate race around here.
But you had more knack in race 2. Because you finished higher up in 9th, and you led for I don't know how many laps at the very start, with the 2 Racing Forces cars chasing you down. One of them eventually picked the lock and got through. But for entertainment-wise, you were brilliant for us because you were in the thick of the battles for quite a lot of the race.
I thought I'd get stuck in.
Yeah.
Yeah, not so much a lock as a very poor quality Velcro cable tie. But, yeah, no, they're all queuing. It's like, oh gosh, they're all queuing up behind me. Cashier number 4, please. And then I saw everyone dive. Everyone obviously saw me up front and went, sod that. Went in the pits, and they all freight trained me on the way out. That was quite funny. But no, I ended up with Freddie. He got involved in his incident.
Yeah.
And then had to try and trace me down again. I had JB in both races on the back of that as well. JB was fighting me all the way in the first race for pole position. That was quite a good race. So yeah, that's the difference between the Elantra and the Honda experience. In the Honda, we were at the back and literally on our own.
Right.
Just doing awful. Here, at least that still put me in a position where I was having an interaction with someone, and so that was therefore a positive. So
yeah. And I don't remember whether you were the part of the lights flashing mob, but everybody's going to get penalised for that somehow.
Well, that was funny because Simon in qualifying said right at the end of, because you were on board with me for a lap, I think.
Yes.
And right at the end of the lap, he said, "Don't balls it up. They're doing an on-board lap with you." and he said, just at the end of it, flash your lights. They might cut off board at the right time, and apparently you did. So.
Oh dear. Well, I've thoroughly enjoyed watching you race tonight, even if you didn't necessarily enjoy it. And Virginia comes next, which is a totally different track, equally as technical, but very, very different characteristics. Is that going to be better for you and the Elantra?
It'll be better for me. As for me and the Elantra together, I don't know. I really enjoyed that last season, though. That was the season opener last season, if I remember. It was,
yeah. It was a good race, very good race.
Well, of course it was. Bobby got taken out in turn 3.
Yes, he did.
Or turn 4. But the thing that was exciting about that last time in the Honda was that the way to get around VIR quickly is to set the car up as a death trap and just hang on for dear life, which is the Clio approach.
Yes,
so,
it is. Yeah.
The Hyundai's, particularly the Veloster, I'd be interested to see how sideways Gary gets in it, because his driving style is towards that direction anyway. But that, I think, even if I'm crap round there, it will be an exciting driving experience. So
yeah,
looking forward to that. And then I think after that it's Suzuka, isn't it? So
cool.
Yeah, I broke out the Suzuka special paint job around 2 rounds early just because it was in Japan. So.
Yeah. Your paint job was it the last time we were there? Was it on a V8 though? Wasn't it? I think.
It started as we were doing this Suzuka 10 hours or 1,000 kilometers, whatever it was, iRacing special event, and someone in our Discord said, "Well, Japanese paint jobs are always really weird and have like 3 different material types on." So
yeah.
Every time we do a race at Suzuka, we do a special scheme for it. So.
Oh, good. Right. Well, we'll look forward to that in a few weeks. And anybody you want to have a shout out to before we let you go and prepare for Virginia?
Yeah, shout out to you guys as always putting it on. Shout out to JB and Freddie and Demis and everyone I was racing with. It's all good stuff. And shout out to Wobbly's Feet.
let's not do that one. But all the others, I fully condone. I don't condone flashing lights, even if it is at the end of your touring lap with us. But great racing tonight, in our opinion. Anyway, Jamie Wilson, everybody.
Cheers, guys.
Good night.
Cool, right. And as per her usual slot in our broadcast, good evening to Fiona
Oh, can I press
Simmons.
that thing? Hold on. Where's that thing?
Wait, what thing? What thing are you after?
That thing I've been wanting to press something on it all night.
All right, go on then.
Hold on.
Round of applause for Fiona Simmons. I thought you were going after this one for a minute.
Please wait, mate. We're racing.
Because that one's always funny. No, we got a round of applause there. That was good. Yeah, like that. Ta-da! Right, so do you want this one as well? No. Right, okay. All of that joviality over. Good evening to Fiona Simmons.
Noises, P. Hello, P.
Hello, guys.
How you doing, lass?
Not too bad, Alan.
Let me find out where you are on the track for a minute. There we
It's
go.
a heck of a night tonight, wasn't it? A bit rough and tumble out there. My word, it was hard work for everybody.
Yeah, definitely. It was hard work for me. I just didn't click with the circuit at all.
No, there's a few people complaining of that same ailment. It's called anti-Okayama syndrome. We can see you going a bit sideways around the... where is that? Is that the hairpin? It's not the hairpin, is it? It's one of the turns towards the end. Oh no, the beginning of the lap. It's going up Atwood, isn't it? Up onto the back straight.
Yeah.
It is a challenging track. It's very, very technical. But you finished on lead lap for both races, particularly in that second one, and other people did not. So I think you can take that as a victory of sorts. Any of these races where you're going to struggle, it's always an education, because you're going to approach a track differently and other tracks differently as a result of it. So I think there's a learning experience in there for you. How did you get on racing after the lights went out?
Oh, I like driving in the dark. As Alan knows, when I was doing the endurance races, I always volunteer for the night shift.
Ah, right, okay.
Yeah, very useful person to have around when you don't want to drive night shifts. That's
Yeah,
for sure.
definitely. Yeah. I mean, I've had jobs where you'd have been useful, you know. But anyway, we saw you in some really good battles with people. At one point, you got caught by those cars that had already pitted, and they kind of swamped you a bit because they were in a bit of a rush. But you did the right thing. You stuck to your line and then found a safe place to let them get on with whatever the hell they were doing.
It wasn't a case of letting them. It was a case of one got down the inside.
Yeah.
I got offline and everybody just went.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think you controlled it very well, and others didn't, and that's a key part of learning any car, to be honest. But this one in particular. There's a steep learning curve for certain cars on the iRacing service, and this is definitely one of them. But I think you did fantastically well tonight. You may have struggled on Okayama, but you're not the first to do that. We're looking forward to Virginia next, which is a completely different track, but still got its own technical aspects to it. As Gary said, I think it was, or was it Jamie? I think it was Jamie. You've got to be brave around there. You've got to cross yourself, everything forward, and all for the Lord, and just not send it against other cars, send it into corners yourself, and just know that it's going to stick. And you can only do that with practice. How do you go at Virginia?
I think when I was racing in British Sim Racers TCR, I think it was VIR, where I was about to quit in free practice, and Alan talked me into stopping.
Right, okay.
And I ended up having a decent night.
Yeah, well, no, I think it suits the cars, and I think you'll probably you'll enjoy the race. That's the thing, isn't it? If you're out there to have a good time and enjoy yourself.
Yeah,
We know that everybody's going to be battling hard, and you do handle that pressure really well. You do, you control your line. People can see what you're doing. You're a safe driver on the circuit. But I think you as long as you're enjoying the racing, P, you've got that just about says it all about this, because it's got to be fun. You've got to enjoy yourself on the circuit, and you know how to do that.
I enjoy driving TCR cars. Good fun to drive. And I have to thank Steve Walker in that last race, because Stephen Goebel was catching me hand over fist at the end until he went a lap down.
Right, yeah. Yeah, that was... he's fast in his car, isn't he? He just ends up with some bad luck sometimes. I'm looking at the Safe Driver Award, and I see second place, Fiona Siddons, 50 incident points. This is before tonight. 3,496 laps. Turns, sorry. And 0.014 incidents per corner. Second place in that one. You've got to be proud of that. And if you can maintain that all the way through the season, you're doing a fantastic job.
Definitely. I mean, I'm off the pace. It's not because I'm not pushing. I'm pushing as hard as I can.
Yeah.
But that's the award I'm going for this year. It's one what's attainable, and that's my aim, is to win that one.
Cool. And that's a a sensible benchmark to make for yourself, I think. You get a lot of people that come in and are super fast, but they're often super crashy, and riddled with incident points. Like me, for instance, in the Clios, I'm reasonably quick, I guess, in that car, but I accrue incident points like that. I'm a magnet to them. Every corner, every other car, I bounce off everything. So I'm not as high up the league as I possibly should be if I was a bit cleaner. I think your approach is much more sensible, really.
Yeah, well, like I say, it's not because I'm not pushing. I mean, I'm pushing as hard as I can all the time. So.
Well, the thing is, Pete, isn't it? Look at the quality of the league.
Oh, definitely.
It's the same as me in my leagues. We want to race against the best drivers. A league gives you that chance to do that. It means you can pull up against somebody who's got 5,000 I rating and see how you do, and learn something. And there's no shame in coming at the back of this field, that's for sure. Just keep it on the lead lap, I think, is a terrific achievement, actually. And you do that every week.
I was surprised tonight with it being a shorter lap.
Absolutely.
Not actually clicking with the track. I was expecting to be a lap down in the second race.
Well, you've amazed yourself then, because if you look down as Alan has just said, if you look down the I rating, you've got 5,100, 6,100, 5,200, 4,100, 5,100, and you're in there, keeping on the same lap as people with, I ratings as high as that. You've got to take something positive from that. It's fantastic. Anybody you'd like to shout out to before we let you go and start practicing for Virginia?
Carl for the setup as always. You guys for doing the stream and organising the league, and everybody who's been out there watching tonight.
Awesome stuff.
Lovely.
Yeah, very good. And we will see you next time out. Hopefully with better fortune. Fiona Siddons, everybody.
Good night, guys.
Good night, Pete.
Cool. Right. So, a great night's racing at Okayama. A few dramas along the way. At the end of all of that, we've had two different race winners tonight. Miguel for race 1. Stephen for race 2. Back in winning ways for Mr. Lucky Wookie Walker. I'm no good at this track. And Gary Craig with a double podium. So, a great night's racing for all of those guys. It's been great entertainment from my perspective, but we've got a decision to make, Alan.
Yes, we have.
I've been doing a consider, and looking down. You could easily give the award to any one of the top 3 or 4. Adam Wright's had a very solid evening's racing. Outside the top 3. In the first race he was 6th. In the second race he was 4th. Rob Sharp, has done equally as well. He had a bit of a ropey bit in one of the races, so maybe not. I still think Tony Walker is sticking his head right out above the parapet there. He's had a very well-controlled evening's racing, as has Demis Tigchelar. And funnily enough, they've finished next to each other in both races. Demis led a lot of laps in that second race and showed a lot of maturity for the Hydro Race Racing Forces team. But Tony Walker equally has done extremely well. JB Dejoux as well, he was quick tonight.
Yeah, JB had a sparkling night.
Yeah.
He did great in quali as well.
I know. But for me, based on the overtakes that I saw and the level of development that I've seen come from him, I'm going to go with Tony Walker tonight. Really seems to have clicked with this track massively, and hopefully he can carry that on to future tracks. So my vote for tonight is going to Tony Walker.
Good shot. A really good shout. This kind of, tonight is this outstanding midfielders and these outstanding front runners, and it's very hard to know who to pick.
Yeah,
I
agree with that. And Tony did a good job of keeping people behind him as well in a very fair way. I think he, as his brother said, he's clicked with the car a bit more.
Yeah, no, that was the best driving I've seen by Tony.
Mm-hmm.
He was not just, he's always had heart, but there was skill in there as well.
Yeah, agree.
And, good to see.
Pressure's on then.
Yeah, well, it's I think it's really tough because, but I don't know whether to cop out. I mean, I'd like to give it to Gary. I'd like to give it to Stephen. I'd like to give it to Card. I'd like to give it to Lee. But in the end, I'm going to give it to Miguel.
Oh, right. Wow.
And I think he drove incredibly well tonight. He came right from the back of the field in that second race and quietly overtook the whole bloody field except for and he won the first race. It's a bit hard to say that anybody drove better than him tonight. And I thought the way he set about overtaking the whole field in that second race was majestic, actually.
Yeah, I mean, he's a massive talent, and he so fast. And lots of people mentioned it. He is super rapid, but he's safe with it as well. Such a mature drive tonight. I said it in the interview, and I said it during the race. He was in no rush. He wasn't going to shoulder his way past anyone. He was going to do it all on skill tonight, and he did that in spadefuls. I think you've placed your vote extremely well there, Alan. So it leaves us to look forward to what's coming next for BSTV.
Yeah, VIR. Well, VIR is a fantastic circuit.
Oh yeah,
his cars will go great around there. It's always great racing. It's a tricky, hard drive, demanding of the drivers, but we've got the drivers that can cut the mustard. So it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, we definitely do. I think VIR has always been good for the front wheel drive cars in particular. It can be a bit ropey for rear wheel, but these cars will do very well around there, and I can see it being very competitive. That's next Wednesday at the same time as this one. Clio's this Friday are from, I've no idea where. I'm broadcasting it, but I don't know, so let me go and find out, because that's essential. I should have spoken about V8s really first, but I've ended up walking myself down this dead end now.
It's Friday. It's Friday for the Clios.
Friday for the Clios.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, and you will look forward to a bit more when I tell you that it's Knock Hill, which is a brilliant little track. It's just stunning.
Oh no! That's great. I love Knock Hill.
Yeah,
and it's fantastic in the Clios. I mean, they absolutely devour that place. It's going to be fantastic. That is.
Yeah, it's going to be brilliant. I've always actually raced all right there, to be fair. Let's see where else. I mean, we've already been there in that series, haven't we? But this is the.
Well, you've got Willow Springs at the V8s. I think that's really interesting.
And that's Saturday.
Because we don't see. I have not seen that venue in a big race with the. So that'll be a great watch. I think I'm looking forward to that.
I should point out though, Alan, that you're gonna have to do Knock Hill in reverse because that's the track selection.
Oh no!
Yeah, you're gonna have to learn it backwards. I don't think you're allowed to reverse around the track though.
Well, I did better on the reverse last time than I've done previously. That's not saying much, Pete.
Right, okay. Reverse tracks are mind mashers, aren't they? It doesn't.
I
work
had
well
to
with me.
retire we were there only a few weeks ago, and I had to retire after
Oh,
the
dear.
second race because it was killing my arm.
Oh, right,
It was
okay.
the first time I had an actual physical reaction on my bad arm since I had it, and the chicane there on the reverse did it, and I had to stop racing.
Yeah, because it's uphill in that direction, isn't it?
It's downhill, fast, and it jumped and was banging me something terrible. With
Oh,
his,
downhill, of course it is. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
downhill.
Yeah.
And it was making the jump was absolutely hurting me, so I had to
Right.
stop after the second
dear.
race.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Let's hope that doesn't happen this time round.
Well, we shall see. But I'm ready. Forewarned is forearmed.
Absolutely. And as you said, Willow Springs on Saturday night for a 2-hour endurance race
That's
for
going to
the
be
V8s.
fun. Kind of a race that is.
I know.
That's, wow, I can't imagine what that's going to be like. I remember Willow Springs on Gran Turismo when it came out.
Yeah, it was good. It was one of the best tracks on that particular game. But we're going to draw this one to a close now. It's been a wonderful experience watching the racing here around Okayama, with mixed fortunes for different drivers, as always. But I've found it thoroughly entertaining. Thanks to all of the viewers and the racers that turned up tonight, all the sponsors for each of the teams. We can't do these things without you. And don't forget for all our other broadcasts to come. Thanks again to Alan for all his wit and intellectual conversation throughout these races. Really does make my Wednesday evening worthwhile. I really appreciate it. I'll hand you over to Alan and I'll say goodnight to everybody. Stay safe, everyone, and we'll see you next time. Over to you, Alan.
Oh, he just say the nicest things about me, doesn't he? What a sweetie. Anyway, yeah, as usual, it's absolutely my pleasure to be here with Pete. I feel honoured to be invited into this booth, and they more than that, I get guest invites to fantastic racing like the Cleos on Friday night, and it's magic to be part of the Backfire family. And I'll see you next week.